What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Country Bunkers Trains. Hope you're doing good. Hope everyone's been having a good week. It's been a hot minute since we've taken a look at one of the engines here on the layout. I figured we were a bit overdue. We've got a pretty cool one to check out today. Somewhat of a beautiful but odd duckling here on the layout. You might be thinking to yourself, Zach, what the hell are you talking about? This isn't by any means really an odd engine or an odd duck here on the layout. However, it really kind of is somewhat odd for my particular layout or layouts. If you guys have been around for a little while, you know I love the big monstrous engines, the huge articulated steam engines, the monstrous diesel ABA consist. That's what really gets my blood going. Kind of gets some people questioning or maybe even scratching their head, because obviously we don't have a huge space to run those big monstrous engines. But like I say, I just can't help it. It's what I enjoy. I'm a big guy. I like big things. Big cars, big toys, big meals, hell, even big women, to be honest with you. I just can't help it. That's what I enjoy. So this engine being on the smaller size really doesn't fit the bill or fit in as much with my other stuff that we have here on the layout. Now this engine might lack a little in the size department, however this thing more than makes up for it in the details department, at least in my mind. However, I'm getting ahead of myself. What do you guys say we go ahead and jump into the video? Today I thought we would take a quick peek at this beautiful MTH Premier Pittsburgh and West Virginia light Mikado. A real little beauty. And a somewhat oldie but a goodie. This MTH Premier Light Mikado was advertised in the 2005 Volume 2 catalog. It was delivered in December of the same year, 2005. This engine features die-cast boiler and tender body, die-cast metal chassis, an authentic paint scheme, metal wheels and axles, a constant voltage headlight as well as backup light on the tender, die-cast truck sides, a precision flywheel-equipped motor, remote-controlled protocoupler on the rear on the tender, operating firebox glow, engineer and fireman figures in the cab, metal handrails and decorative bell and whistle, operating marker lights and lighted cab interior, synchronized smoke system, which of course is great, gotta love it. This engine measures 21 inches long, and one of the best parts about it, the minimum recommended curve for this engine is 0.42. This engine is very small layout friendly. This is one of the reasons I purchased this engine. Of course, this engine comes equipped with MTH Protosound 2 system, featuring freight sounds announcements, and it just sounds great. It's an awesome little engine. Another reason for this one being somewhat of an odd duck here on the layout is obviously, as I say, I'm not really a small engine fan per se. And on top of that, I never really used to be that big of a Mikado fan either. Previously, these didn't really do a whole lot for me. I just wasn't that drawn to them. One other reason or point for me is, yeah, obviously this is an MTH model, but I love going and drooling over every catalog from all the big manufacturers that come out every year. And I'm sure I'm over-exaggerating, and maybe it's just me, but it seemed like for the last 5 years, there was a Mikado of some sorts in Lionel's catalog. Every year it seemed you'd flip through the pages and there had to be a Mikado in it. I grew very tired of it and kind of got me sick on them. Now, of course, having owned this one, I've learned to appreciate it, and I do love the hell out of it. I see the draw to it and the fancy for it. But with that still being said, Lionel, please, no more Mikados. Let's take a break on them. This engine is a fairly recent arrival here to the layout. Picked it up a few months back. Some of you might recall or remember from a few videos back, I had mentioned how I was selling off some of my post-war engines and equipment, and how I had sold 2 of the post-war Lionel GG1s. The proceeds from the sale of those 2 engines is what actually funded the purchase of this engine. I think that was a pretty good trade-off, at least for me personally. Others' taste might vary, but I've really been enjoying this engine. I came across this engine at my local train store, Roundhouse South, down in Port Orange, Florida. I'm sure you guys have heard me mention Tony down at Roundhouse quite a few times, but he always has some goodies hiding on the shelves. This one caught my eye, and of course at first there I was thinking, oh god, another Mikado. But I was really drawn to it for whatever reason. We got it out and threw it on the test track, and I really enjoyed seeing it run. I had to have it. So, of course, we picked it up, and here she is. And I've really been enjoying it. It's been a great little engine. Another big reason towards the purchase of this engine and what drew me towards it was the minimum recommended curve diameter that this engine requires, 0.42. At the time that I purchased this engine, I wasn't really sure or pondering that much about expanding or growing the second layout, as some of you may know we're currently working on. And originally that layout was constructed out of 0.42 tubular track work. So this engine fit that layout great. It ran on all that 0.42 tube track just perfect. Of course, as you know, we're expanding and growing the layout. However, this thing looks just as great, or even better, of course, on these nice wide radius curves. But it was able to handle the tighter curves, so that was a pretty big draw for this engine. One thing I really love about this engine is all the great details that are on this thing. This thing just looks phenomenal. You can see all the separately applied details, separately painted valves and whatnot. It all just looks great. Got these simulated pulls for the whistle and the bell. It actually moves the bell if you want it to. It just looks awesome. Sure, a lot of the bigger engines have all of this stuff. Maybe not all of it, but a lot of it. However, being a bigger engine, it's spread out on a much larger footprint, or a lot more acreage. Being shrunken down and on a smaller footprint, I think it just makes everything pop all that much more. Everything just stands out a whole lot more. And it looks great. Being a Protosound 2 engine, it does have the tether, the wired tether in between the tender and the engine. A lot of people frown on this. Me personally, I enjoy it. I'll take this tether over the newer wireless tether on the PS3 engines any day. I'd much rather take function over form, I guess. This thing just works. I've had a lot of trouble with the wireless tether. Now, of course, a lot of the details and great features that are on this engine are pretty common or standard practice nowadays. However, what impresses me and what you gotta think, this engine is what, 16 years old now? And to see all this detail on an engine this old, I think it's pretty stunning. You really gotta give it to MTH. I know everybody loves their brand or what have you, you know, whatever manufacturer they desire. But I do think we gotta give MTH a big thank you. They really brought us into the next level of these trains. And this is a great example of that. They were really shooting for the stars back then, and it really shows in their models. Anyways, guys, enough babbling. What do you say we get this beauty fired up and check her out? I'm going to start her up with the extended startup sequences, and I'll be using all the extended sequences throughout the video. But let's check her out.
Let's get her steam. We got a schedule to keep. Drop those dead coals. Grab a shovel and spread that coal. Check the level of the tender, will ya? Water level down 6 feet. Clean that spout over. Let loose. Good. Let's grease up the side rod. Looks good. Plenty of steam.
Here's the bell.
Go ahead and get ready to pull out.
And the whistle.
The conductor's giving us the high ball.
Here's a quick little bonus. When I first got this engine home and threw it on the tracks, I had the Z5 Yellowstone engine running next to it. something I thought was really cute and adorable. It was like seeing a mama bear and her cub roaming around on the layout. Take a listen to this. I think it's just hilarious. Y'all know the Z5. That's the mama bear, of course. Pretty angry. And here's your cute little cub. I don't know why, I found that quite humorous and adorable. One other thing, obviously as we've been going over, this engine being a bit smaller. That said, this thing is the heaviest smoking steam engine I have in the collection. This thing puts out a ton of smoke. It easily smokes out the train room in a couple minutes. But anyway, we've got our train hooked up to it. What do you say we go ahead and move her out? As I mentioned earlier, this one sports Freight Sounds announcements, which we'll take a listen to here in a few minutes.
see it, making the application. I wonder what the problem is. Whatever it is, I hope we're not held too long. I think we're about to find out what's going on. Yep, here comes someone walking up this way.
There's been a derailment up ahead. We've almost got the track cleared now.
What happened?
Well, it seems a hot box set a car afire. You'll be able to get on your way in just a minute now.
I hope there's no more surprises. It's a good thing we had someone to look over our train at the last hour. We just got the proceed signal. Okay, let's get going.
Check out that haze from that one little engine. Pretty cool. What do you guys think? It's a pretty neat little engine, isn't it? I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video on the MTH Premier Pittsburgh and West Virginia Light Mikado. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. Until next time, guys, my name is Zach, and this is Country Bunkers Trains. Y'all take care. I'll see you the next go-round.